up, we get the latest update of Typhoon Usagi in Hong Kong and China's Guangdong and Fujian. A group of residents in Mount Lee of Central Taiwan have been devoted to recycling work since the 91 earthquake. Welcome to Dial Headlines. I'm Wendy Chen. Thank you for joining us. First up in China, Typhoon Usagi has brought strong wind and rain to many parts of the country and left many areas flooded or without power. In our first report, we take a look at the current situation in Hong Kong, as well as China's Guangdong and Fujian.
As Typhoon Usagi swiped through Guangdong province, China, it has caused massive damage in the area. The strong wind and torrential rain has flooded many parts of the city and left many houses without power.
Right now we have little rain but strong wind. Some of the utility poles and trees are damaged. Today we saw many corrugated iron houses without roofs. Since yesterday we have been calling to check up on our fellow volunteers. We have also made countless calls to care recipients as we hope to understand their current situations.
Before Typhoon Usagi makes its way to Hong Kong, local Tzu Chi volunteers were mobilized to clean up the surroundings, including leaves inside the ditch.
When the typhoon hit Hong Kong, it might bring torrential rain that might flood this area. We need to clean up the ditch and move other things inside the building.
At the local recycling station, volunteers not only move out the plants inside the building, but also cover all the recyclables with canvas. The volunteers have thoughtfully checked each area as they hope to be well prepared for the storm. Meanwhile, in Xiamen, Tzu Chi volunteers are conducting winter aid distribution. During home visitations, the volunteers found out that many local residents' houses are in bad shape.
You have to be careful. Your roof leaks. Please remember not to sleep in your house and ask your neighbor if you can stay at their home for the night.
As many youngsters are working outside of the village, many seniors are living on their own. The thoughtfulness of the volunteers has touched the hearts of these seniors.
The typhoon is coming tonight. Please be careful. If your house is flooded, remember to stay in your bed. Please be extra careful.
Other than reminding local residents to be prepared for the upcoming typhoon, the volunteers also promised to help them repair their homes in the future.
Prior to hitting China, Typhoon Usagi also brought heavy damage to Taiwan's Taidong County. As residents are now cleaning their homes, Tzu Chi volunteers arrived in Ziben district to hand out emergency cash and relief items to those affected by the flood, and also brought Master Zhen Yan's warm blessings.
The flood came within 5 minutes. I almost couldn't escape. I had no time to grab anything.
Seeing the arrival of Tzu Chi volunteers, residents in Wenchuan Village, Ziben district, described how torrential rains caused the Ziben River to suddenly overflow its banks and flooded their homes.
The water came up to here. There's the mark.
We bring blessings from Master Zhen Yan. We hope everyone is all right. At these hard times, we need to be disciplined, prudent, pious, and sincere.
In addition to relief packages and support, volunteers also brought Master Zhen Yan's blessings to affected residents.
Please donate the cash to those who need it more. I will be fine. I can go live with my son.
The emergency cash is for calming your heart. I hope you all can have peace of mind.
Mr. Ling, a store seller, had his home flooded with mud, but he also donated his emergency cash to those in greater need.
I'll help you redistribute the emergency cash. You are very compassionate.
The most important thing today is distributing emergency cash and relief packages because their homes are currently covered in mud. The entire day in Ziben saw heavy equipment sent from Beinan District Office removing mud and the military helping residents clean homes. But with mud reaching up to 2 meters high, it will be another 3 or 4 days before residents' lives return to normal. Though 2 years have passed since Japan's 3/11 trail disasters, many residents in Kamaishi City, Iwate Prefecture, are still living in prefabricated houses. Recently, Tzu Chi volunteers revisited the hard-hit city to check up on the residents' progress and, most importantly, to let them know that Tzu Chi is still by their side.
Walking along the streets in Kamaishi, Iwate, Japan Tsuji volunteers are revisiting the hard-hit area of the 3/11 earthquake and tsunami. It has been 2 years since the disaster devastated the lives of these residents. Until now, many are still living in prefabricated houses. Around the city, one can still see debris, broken bridges, and damaged railways.
You see the trees over there? The tsunami had flooded that area.
In the aftermath of the disaster, local government established a plan to rebuild the neighborhood. Unfortunately, the new-built homes were not enough to accommodate all the residents. Currently, these survivors are afraid that they will be homeless because they can only live in the prefabricated houses until the end of this year.
今考えていることはやっぱり住むところですね。これがもう
The government has decided to build new houses around this area. However, only those that are picked can move in. We hope the government will allow the rest to continue living in the prefabricated houses. If the government continues to build new houses, everyone will have a place to call home.
それなりの
The 3/11 earthquake and tsunami has destroyed the lives of those living in Kamaishi, Iwate. To ease their sorrows, Tsuji volunteers decided to hold an event at the local nursing home. This is 85-year-old Miss Suzuki, who joined the event wearing her prettiest dress. She says this is her first time singing and dancing with others.
All of us have been living on our own. We hardly have the chance to interact with each other. Today, everyone is here singing together. If we don't sing now, eventually we will lose the ability to speak.
This is the most touching moment of my life. I can't believe that there are still so many good things in this world. Thank you all so much.
While playing games with Tsuji volunteers, everyone has forgotten about their sorrows. Tsuji volunteers promise to continue helping these seniors on the road to recovery.
Since the 2008 Wenchuan earthquake in China, more and more charity organizations were formed to bring together collective power and love to reach all those in need. This year at the 2013 China Charity Fair held in Shenzhen, various organizations from home and abroad all arrived to take part, including Tsuji.
Here at the second China Charity Fair, which is taking place in Shenzhen, the Deputy Minister of the Ministry of Civil Affairs arrives at the Tsuji store for a quick visit.
We built water cellars in Gansu, and now we're doing a relocation program.
You're solving problems at root.
Scholars who are concerned with charity development gather to exchange their ideals and research. The spokesperson of the Tsuji Foundation is also invited to attend.
The master sets an example with her character. She is self-reliant and self-sufficient. While purifying her own mind, she is also devoted to all sentient beings.
The neighboring Guangdong province is where the famous Charity Research Institute has been established in the Sun Yat-sen University.
A big change in the charity development of our society is that instead of a systematic approach, the general public now does the initiating to volunteer.
3 students who are currently on Tsuji scholarship support also arrive on site to share their experiences with the Buddhist NGO.
In fact, Tsuji has been passing on their belief to us and teaching us to give.
Tsuji volunteers care for him with their love. When he feels that love, he will share it with others.
Through exchanging experiences and knowledge, all charity organizations hope to work together and reach every needy corner of society.
In the aftermath of Taiwan's 9/1 earthquake in 1999, a resident of Guoxing Township in Nantou County, Chou Qingxi, along with other residents, established the Nantou Reconstruction Association to help survivors get through the difficult times. Now, 14 years on, though many are back on their feet, Chou says he will continue helping his fellow residents until he is no longer able.
Swinging their ribbon props and dancing with the music are the elderly who live in Guangdong Township, Nantou County. It's hard to imagine these exuberant seniors are in fact the 9/21 earthquake survivors.
The walls fell down and the stairs all collapsed. You know, it was really shocking to see how the buildings collapsed that way.
Guangdong Township of Nantou County was one of the worst hit areas in 9/21 earthquake in 1999. The disaster not only destroyed the homes of countless people, but also aggravated the lives of impoverished seniors.
Since the earthquake, my life has become really difficult. My 2 grandchildren and I were buried under the rubble. We could barely walk for a month.
To help the needy get through the difficult times, local residents Cho Qin-xi founded the Nantou Reconstruction Association and started delivering free lunch boxes to local senior residents. At lunchtime, over the past 14 years, the staff of the association mobilized to send lunch boxes to the doorsteps of over 100 solitary seniors. Cho is also a quake survivor himself, whose life was devastated by the disaster as well.
After the 9/21 earthquake, my house was completely leveled and my motorcycle shop was partly damaged. Some of my employees also died in the quake.
Despite living in difficulty, Cho decided that it is his responsibility to tend to these senior residents.
Let the locals help the locals. I think that is more meaningful because we know what the local residents really need. I'm a survivor too, so I think it's worthwhile to help residents in need.
Although Cho was later diagnosed with stage 3 bladder cancer, he still insists on doing this charity work.
After I receive treatment, I often visit the terminal cancer patients at the hospice ward. Seeing their situation, I feel that I am more fortunate than they are. Sometimes I even make a joke out of my disease. Now I am able to embrace everything in my life, both good and bad. No doubt, I will see my responsibilities through. In fact, the most wonderful thing in this world is to accomplish what you truly want to do.
Adjacent to the office of the Reconstruction Association is the Nantou Fugui Elementary School. Senior teacher Xu Yuye, who has worked here for over 20 years, recalls how the Japanese showed their generosity and the compassion in the wake of the earthquake.
The Japanese visitors told me that they also feared earthquakes, and then they handed us some Japanese yen for us to buy some food for our students.
In 2011, upon learning of the 3/11 earthquake in Japan, these school teachers voluntarily made donations to help their fellow disaster survivors.
We wouldn't imagine that we would have a chance to give back to the Japanese. Since then, we have become companions in adversity.
14 years have passed since the 9/21 earthquake. The younger generation, fortunately, didn't have to go through the devastation of the quake. However, the generosity and compassion from other people will last in the minds of their seniors forever and ever.
Another inspiring story that arose from the 9/21 earthquake is a couple who lives in Mount Lee of Central Taiwan. Though the path to recovery has been filled with challenges and difficulties, Children Paul and his wife have over each day of the past 14 years committed themselves to recycling work to preserve the beauty of their mountain. Here's their story.
I'm currently working at Zhonghua Telecom. I practice recycling during my lunch break and when I get off work. This was a joint purchase between me and my wife and 4 other recycling volunteers. Most of the time it's parked here by the office. It's our mobile recycling station.
I have more time in the mornings, so I go around with my trolley and collect any recyclables I find, which I bring back here for sorting.
A happy volunteer couple, the pair drives Tziji's recycling van meandering Mount Li.
We collect recyclables in the Huanshan and Huagang areas. Once we are done, we take it to Dongshi or Yilan to be sold. A round trip takes us about 6 to 7 hours.
The mountains are vast, the roads are long and winding, but nothing deters Tziji's recycling van from reaching their destination.
I'm here at Mount Li at the 93.3 kilometers point on Provincial Highway number 8. Torrential rains this May caused massive landslides in the area. Now each time this area experiences heavy rains, the roads will be blocked. Whenever there's a typhoon, the roadbeds will collapse and mudslides will occur. The roads will be blocked, so we temporarily store our recyclables here in a shack. Once the weather clears up, we will take it down the mountain.
Today, the weather on Mount Li is pleasant, so recycling volunteers are able to work.
Farmers will bring us their recyclables when they pass by. So we always sort them here, and when Brother Cho has time, he will come collect them.
Tziji volunteer Qiu Zhenbo is also head of recycling at the Mount Li district office. 9 years ago, the couple moved from Tainan to Mount Li.
The environment here is very polluted, so there are plenty of recyclable items here.
In love with the radiance and enchantment of the mountain, the couple cannot bear to see it being destroyed.
My heart breaks a little each time something is being thrown into the bin. We have a responsibility to protect our planet, so before we tell others about environmental protection, we must do it ourselves.
The recycling mission has flourished in the once disaster-stricken area.
When the bridge was reconstructed, the floor was not level, and there were loose rocks everywhere. That's when I thought, this is a spacious area, and I can use it for other purposes.
The recycling van travels back and forth carrying a truckload of recyclables. Even when ill, sickness did not discourage him.
My whole body itched, and my face was yellow. I couldn't eat, nor could I sleep. I promised that when I got better, I would work even harder at recycling.
At first, my neighbors couldn't understand why we do this. They thought we were deprived of money. I told them I'm doing it for Tziji. Now when they see me, some will join and even help me.
An area once wrecked by disaster has now flourished into a field of blessings.
At the Tziji La Romana school in the Dominican Republic, there's a group of female residents who, despite being Catholics, are walking the Tziji path to help the less fortunate. In the beginning, this team of local volunteers faced much criticism for joining an organization that was not in line with their religion. However, over time, they proved to critics that they are not in it for themselves, but for the greater good of their community.
In the Dominican Republic, Fernanda Medina is a teacher at the Tziji La Romana school. An avid community volunteer, and Medina often goes with her church to visit inmates. In the past few years, Medina and fellow educational staff at the school have actively participated in Tziji activities to care for local residents. With most people being Catholics, joining in a Buddhist organization got them weird looks.
In the beginning, some residents from the community were suspicious of them. They thought they joined Tziji because there was some sort of perk for them.
Facing strange looks and questions, these local volunteers choose to use their actions as an explanation. For example, being present at every Tzuji's free clinic. Following the free clinics, this team continues to care for the sick and poor. 43-year-old Nelson Flor was originally from Haiti, but a stroke left one side of his body immobilized. Through chatting, Flor revealed he was a dentist in his native country, but now he is penniless and without hope.
I want to return to my homeland, Haiti. I don't have any family here.
The local volunteers continue to give Flor support and try to help him come up with a solution to go home. In the meantime, they brought aid supplies and helped him clean up his place.
I'm very touched because it's been a couple of days since someone came to visit me. Today, Tzuji people are here to see me, and I'm really glad to see them.
What was once a dirty room is now much cleaner. Seeing an immediate improvement, these local volunteers gain a sense of accomplishment.
See, this is a transformation. The solution was right in front of our eyes. If it wasn't for the Tzuji Foundation, we would not be here today.
We can do things with less people, but with more people we will have more strength.
Actually, they proved to naysayers that they are using their own time and spirit to be a dedicated volunteer. They did not receive any kickback in return from Tzuji, and I think this is what has changed many people's opinions.
The dedicated local volunteers in La Romana province prove that it does not take much to be able to help others, and their efforts have brought much warmth and hope to those whom they have come in contact with.
Staying in the Dominican Republic, as we found out in our previous report, Tzuji care recipient Nelson Flor suffered a stroke months ago, which left him paralyzed on one side of his body. Knowing that Flor's wish is to return to his family in Haiti, Tzuji volunteers decided to help fulfill his dream. Let's take a look.
¿Tú sabes a dónde tú vas ahora?
Sí, en Haití yo voy.
Nelson Flor can finally smile because he's going home. After the earthquake in Haiti, Flor migrated to the Dominican Republic to earn a living. But 4 months ago, he suffered a stroke, making him dependent on others to get through his daily life. Flor's neighbor took him to a Tzuji free clinic where volunteers learned that his greatest wish was to return to Haiti to be with his family. At the emotional farewell, the neighbor who normally took care of Flor wished him well. With arrangements made by Tzuji volunteers, Nelson Flor is finally on the road home.
We go back to Taiwan at the end of the show. Tzuji volunteers in Yilan arrived at the home of a solitary senior to help him clean up his living environment. Tzuji volunteers not only assisted the senior in clearing out unwanted waste, but also bought second-hand furniture and clothes for the elderly man. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.